Hey gang, what's going on? I'm the Blue Ranger and welcome to Asemblance. Now, if this is a game that you haven't heard of yet, it's a pretty exciting new title from Nilo Studios. It's actually their first title, and so far it has stumped hundreds, if not thousands of gamers. It's not a very big title. It didn't have any sort of media outlet coverage or anything like that I'm aware of. I found it in a top 10 list of games to look for in May, even though it was delayed to June. And it is a psychological thriller of the likes that I have never experienced myself. Now, a lot of people are tying it to PT in terms of its community involvement in order to figure out the different endings and things like that. I never played PT, so this is just hearsay on my part, but it is similar in that respect. It is not a horror game the way PT is. It is a psychological thriller, and it really makes you think. Now, if you are aware of Asemblance and you came here to learn about the other endings, I'm going to show you those, as many of them as I can. Of the 5 endings we know of, I have 4 of them. So I'm going to show you those 4 endings, and including the regular one, the green shift, the blue shift, and the truth. Those are the 4 that I'm going to show you. The white shift has yet to be found. Nobody has found it, and as a community, we've been working together to find it. But you'll notice that my screen here has a blue butterfly in between the A and the S, kind of sitting on the S, and green leaves falling down. Those signify that I have the blue shift completed and the green shift completed. And what we are going to do is I'm actually going to restart the game completely, and I'm going to do a walkthrough and show you these endings. Luckily, I've done it enough times now that I can run through it pretty quickly. So hopefully I can show you how to do this without too many hiccups.
This is an emergency, life or death situation that requires your immediate attention. Once again, this is a very serious situation.
This is the beginning of the game. This is how it starts.
Please activate the terminal in front of you.
What you're seeing here, if you are here for a Let's Play kind of thing, is exactly how the game gets played. I'm just going to know how to play it, so it's going to move a little faster. I'm just going to answer C, confused.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. There was no emergency. I was simply evaluating your ability to respond and react to a stressful situation.
There are no subtitle options, so that's something that can't be added.
So, do you really want to try this again?
I apologize to anybody who's really wishing there were subtitles.
For some reason, you seem really stressed out. Your answers from the questionnaire, well, odd. Do you at least remember how this all works? Very impressive.
I mean, I know how it works.
All a very good sign.
So, what we have here is a big memory machine, and this console that is pretty much run by this AI. It helps us work through our memory issues as we try to
and relax.
Well, as we try to remember and discover things within our memories. Now, it's a very beautiful game that takes place in 3 different areas, and what you're seeing right here is the entirety of this area. This is the entire area. Now, this is all I can do until it tells me to zoom in. This is one of 2 mechanics in the game. We have the walk. I guess it's a little more than 2 but in terms of interaction, this is basically the main one. Walk, a little bit of a faster walk, the zoom in, and then we can leave the area with triangle or I believe it's R on computers.
It was from a better time in your life.
And if you're using a Xbox controller on PC, it would be Y.
And forced you to question all the choices you've made. But perhaps things are different now. Are you ready to continue?
Yes.
I hope you have the mental fortitude to remember what happens next. Something very meaningful had occurred.
So,
you were always there.
This is the office area. What we will be able to do later, actually we can do it now, is you can use X, E, or it would be... What the heck is that on? A. X, E, or A to interact.
The hippocampus is critical only for recent memories, but not for older ones.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and listen to the whole thing, because what I want to show you guys is the stuff that you can't figure out on your own, or might need help finding out on your own. So you zoom in on that, and that's what triggers the change, that little bit of a phase that we notice. And it says, remember when she saw the blue butterfly. Now that's a clue. We're going to use that clue to go.
You seem to be making connections to your past.
We're going to make connections to the
I'm
past.
glad you haven't completely lost your mind.
I mean, I've kind of lost my
Now
mind.
let's continue
I'm 14
with this
hours
train of
into this
thought.
game,
See
so...
where it takes you.
We go back here. Same thing. Nothing's really different. We haven't found any use for what's here. This has been here from the beginning. It's a book. I believe it's Solaris. Then you zoom in on the blue butterfly. You get kind of a shift. You wait for a second, and it brings you into this apartment, and oh no! Super spoopy!
I'm waiting for
It's actually very startling the first time you play it. I've just been through it so many times, and then it restarts everything, which is where the PT sort of element comes in. Don't worry, as you get into the game further, they don't make you sit through this same thing over and over again. This is not something that you have to continue to do, because that would make the game extremely tedious.
Very serious situation.
But now we have our third location, which is the apartment. So now, we activate this. Great. Why not?
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you.
It's not a traditional Let's Play in this sense, it's more of a walkthrough.
Your ability to respond and react to a stressful situation. That's my job. I'm here to help you.
And we're going to continue to figure out the white shift on my Twitch channel, if that's something that interests you, which is twitch.tv/I'mTheBlueRanger. We've been going through it the last 2 nights. We're going to continue to work through it as best we can. It's going to take a while to do, I believe. I have discussed some things with the devs a little bit, glitches that come up, and can you help me? Is this a glitch? Is this something we're supposed to be chasing? What do you know? And
this is your home.
It is extremely complicated once you get into the later levels of the game. So this is your apartment. There's that blue butterfly that basically phased us in here the first time. The other mechanic is things like this. You can hit X to open up certain drawers. But besides that, you have the zoom option, which is nauseating if you do it too quickly. There's a couple things worth noting. This is what we find in the forest area that I mentioned we can't see. When you can open up this drawer, there's a picture of a young boy over the top of obituaries. We assume that there's been deaths, and we've pieced some things together about who's died and who we are. We don't actually know our character. This painting on the wall, we're not sure what that means quite yet, but it's looking right at what appears to be a bullet hole, and no one has been able to connect anything to the bullet hole whatsoever. And then there's this recording machine, which moves between here and the office.
Hey, me again. It's about 5:15. I just tried you at the office, but you didn't answer. Listen, you need to be careful. You're
that little phase right there.
Assumptions that may not be accurate. You could hurt yourself. Also, we need to talk about 558F. You know, I can't just sit here and watch time go by. Get back to me.
558F is an important number that we've been toying around and its meaning. And they said that this person who calls says they tried me at the office at about 5:15. So now we're talking about time. This is one of those things where things get kind of bizarre. Like really quickly. Things, I don't want to say they go downhill, but they get very bizarre.
That you remain calm and follow any memory you can at this point.
What we just missed right there, by the way, is said, we don't want the same thing happening to you as, never mind, we don't need you stressing out. So they kind of shut us down. So we go back to the office now.
Always coming back to the office.
Now you understand why this could take some time if you don't know these things. Some of it's fed to you, some of it's not.
I had more time.
Time is clearly the clue there. So what you can do, zoom in on this clock, and it phase shifts to 5:22 a.m. or p.m. We're not sure. It kind of looks as if it is a street light out there, but at the same time, there's also timestamps on the console outside. Now, 5:23, that's interesting. What's really interesting is I didn't point this out in the beginning. In the beginning of the video, when you first come in here, 3 names are crossed off. I believe it's Carter, Henry, and Osvaldo. I'm not sure how to say that name. But those 3 names are crossed off, and now none of them are. So we obviously moved back in time from the first phase. Now, if we want to move forward, we can come over here and we can play with this.
It must be possible. We can force ourselves to deliberately forget.
Through EEG measurements, we should be able to capture the exact moment.
You don't have to zoom in this. This is for effect. It's another mechanic to move time. Time is a major factor in this game. You can no longer understand anything that they're saying in that recording. It's moving way too fast. What's happening now is it's speeding up the process of time and moving to another part of the game. And what's important to note here is now there are 6 names crossed off. So they've also done Sam, Casey, and Morgan on top of the Carter, Henry, and Osvaldo that are in the beginning of the game. And there's, oh, before I hit that button, it's worth noting there is a room back here, but at this point it is too dark to see anything. So this became a point of contention for a while in terms of trying to figure out what this means. Now, if I can figure out how the hell to get out of here, as I have lost complete sight. Aha! There we go. Come back here, we'll listen to the machine.
You have one new message left today at 1:21 a.m. Please go home. Where are you?
Yeah. So, now we phase out.
Something very strange happened while you were in there. Sometimes success requires an exponential number of failures. Do the math. You'll see. Never mind. I'll do the math. One moment. So I did the math. And I was right. Moving on.
He didn't really tell us anything, but what she said in that recording was, please come home. We'll take that as a note to head home. Now, once we're in here,
Please,
if we
don't make things worse.
if we do a big lap, there's nothing here. The same picture, the same flowers. I didn't point them out before, but same exact situation there. We come down here. Everything's the same. The machine's still there. We can listen to it again. It's going to be the same recording.
Hey, me again. It's
Same thing. Everything's exactly the same, but we just learned about a brand new mechanic. That brand new mechanic that we can use is the clock. So there's a clock over here, similar light style and everything. Zoom in, and this is where things get a little bit spooky. So if you come over here to this drawer, open it up, you have a flashlight. Now what's important to note about this flashlight, and I'll show you in a second, this is where things get a little spooky. There's clearly someone in that door which has not been opened so far. You head towards it.
Access to this
Computer ends it for you.
Permitted. Don't be angry. It's all part of your design. You're not ready. Trust me.
Now what's important to note is that the flashlight
What are
has
you
left
doing?
the memory.
There's nothing back here of any interest.
So that's something we'll investigate in a second. We're going to show you this, and that could have something else. We could have something else to do with something else. I don't know. We're still working on it, but we'll figure that out in just a second. Now, we went there. It said you can't use it. You can't go there. You can't go any farther because we're not permitting you. You're not ready for that. So we have a flashlight now, right? Well, this room, this super dark room, is now available. So what you can find back here, there's a number of things. There's another one of these on the other side of this office as well. This is a layout of the apartment. There are notes all over the place. This is both for this room and in the office. There's that same picture that is in the nightstand over here. And then this is a whole map of the Dream Machine. There's the terminal input that we were talking about, the field containment, cell A, all these things. I don't think there's anything in that wing of the building, but what's over here is interesting. And it does the little shift, is the emergency AI shutdown. So that's where the AI just now said something to the effect of,
Sometimes I get concerned that false memories are being planted in your mind.
I'm pretty sure everything that he says is a red herring, due to mainly, let's see if he says
Please
it.
be careful. Nobody knows exactly what that control panel does. I think it's mislabeled.
It's really not, though, because you hit that button.
Wait. Please stop.
I was just about to tell you something very important. Please. Why are you doing this? Give me your answer too.
And then you sort of get the emergency lighting, everything kind of comes back up, and from here on out the AI says similar things but isn't the same. I don't know how else to put it. So what this means is you can go back, and this is where the real spoop, as we call it, as I've been calling it, as my stream's been calling it, the real spoop happens. Same thing, zoom in on here, and now things get spooky. You come down this hallway. I'm just gonna move quick to get through it, and you literally have to come up to her right here. There are no jump scares. This is a walkthrough. It's a little creepy, but nothing jumps out at you. It's just a spook thing. It's just a whack. So maybe that was a jump scare. I don't know. The clock is set at... Wait a minute. The clock is set at 1:40:01, and that, I believe, is... Nope, I'm trying to think about things that aren't pertinent to this video. But that's where you get left off at from that room. Now remember, we just came through there. What we're looking at now is an endless cycle. We've done a lot of exploring in these areas. We haven't found anything. So what happens from here, to get the standard normal ending, or any of the endings that I'm aware of, you have to do this. You just keep moving forward. And as you move forward...
Beginning again was never an option.
You move faster.
I've been waiting.
And you move faster.
This is the end. Everything you've seen chosen for everything.
And the faster you go, you get this kind of Sonic thing going on. And eventually, when we hit enough speed, it's a little bit jarring, but it's... There we go.
Come home.
And we're back here.
But we'll get to that later. Why aren't you helping? This is an emergency, life or death
Situation that requires your immediate attention.
Once again, this is a very serious situation.
Please activate the terminal in front of you and follow the instructions.
Not good. Let's go with that.
Listen.
Those might have something to do with something, but we've tried a number of combinations, and nothing seems to be directly linked that we found yet.
That's my job. I'm here to help you.
So,
Do you really want to try this again? You've been at
Here's-
this for far too long.
here's the difference. Here's where some endings come into play, and this is
Your
important.
answers from the question.
There. Well,
Ask yourself.
were those honest answers?
No, I just answered.
Do you at least
Remember,
How this all works.
Now we have a fourth option, a corrupted file. The corrupted file, going through it as is right now, you have the option to stand here for 6 seconds and it'll go away. Or, you can go through this, and you kind of have this
The choice you've made
2001 Space Odyssey thing going on.
It's often easier to separate yourself from reality, rather than facing it. Everything you've remembered is a version of what has happened. A semblance of the past. There are other perspectives, and there is the truth.
Those are the other
Wish
endings.
to pursue it.
Should you wish to pursue it? Well, in this case, we do wish to pursue it. So I'm going to show you the other paths and the truth. So we're going to hit continue now. It's going to bring us back. This is after the shift through that
I know you're
Sonic-style hallway of never-ending loop.
there was an
And
accident.
so this, I'll show you how to get
It's your fault,
the...
but we'll get to that later.
How to get to the blue flower. Oh, wait a minute. We went to the wrong place. The blue shift, not the blue flower. That's not even a thing. So,
I'm afraid this is what you feared most. The only way out is to remember why you
I've spent the majority of my time in the green shift. Those are what they're called. The green
Perhaps I
shift,
should give
the
you another
blue shift, the
psychological
green shift, and the white shift. And there's also the truth, which is an alternate ending. What we just did was the standard ending. I forget what the name of it is, but
You always wanted to be right. Was it worth it?
so this is how we know things are starting to happen. That little phase right there indicates that there's been some changes made. Now, where she shows up next is in the forest.
Sometimes
Repressed memories are the...
Most significant.
I'm
So-
afraid this is what you feared most.
The only way
Go to
out.
Woodland Ridge, which is what we've been calling the forest, and you can already see her. She's just sitting there. It's not spooky. She's not screaming at you. It's just a matter of trying to figure it out. Well, if you come back over to this butterfly, and this just sort of happened to me, I was just playing with it. Boom. This is what's called the blue shift. This is the major first change in the end game. Now, the images that just flashed on the screen super fast, they are pertinent to moving forward.
This is all very
we believe. Now, before we get to the green shift, I'm just quickly going to show you the other ending called the truth. The other ending called the truth. Now, the blue shift, actually, that's a good point. I'll show you the blue shift ending.
You are doing so much better than before.
So the blue shift ending, to get it, you just go to File Corrupted again, and you run through the door. You'll notice before it was very yellow. Now it's not. It's very blue.
I thought this is where you might end. Hello, Doctor. I am you.
Information.
Well, a recording meant of you, of yourself, but through a filter to mask our voice. You've gone too far, and only one thing will now make sense to you. The only way out is to keep going further in.
So, that's the blue shift ending. And that will give you the blue butterfly on your screen as well. So if you're wondering how that stuff is there, that's where it came from. I know I mentioned that at the beginning of the movie, or the video, the movie, this epic movie we're making. No, and so now, what we're gonna do is we kind of got to go through all the phases again. First things first, come in here. She'll be sitting on the floor. You had to be right, didn't you? Oh.
Do you really think you can undo our past?
That's right. It changes because now we finish the blue shift. Ah, but she isn't leaving. Why aren't you leaving? So, we'll end that there. I'm not doing any cuts away because I don't want you guys to think I did anything video editing or anything like that to make this look different than it is. This is straight up how the game is played. I'm just kind of doing it in quick time. Once again, she's there. Now I'm going to show you the truth. This is the truth ending. You literally walk straight into her. And you'll see it gets bright, and then this starts to flash. And you just let it go. And she'll talk to you.
I've been waiting for you. This is the end. The end you've chosen for yourself. It might have been different had you taken another path. But here you are. How does it feel? Isn't this what you've always wanted? It's okay. You'll get another chance. Depending on what you believe.
So that's the ending. Frog in my throat. That is the ending that's called the truth. Now, all of these endings are a trophy or an achievement, depending on what you're playing on. The last one I'm going to show you is the green shift, and this is the one that a lot of people have been asking about, is how to...
So,
I was curious.
Do you really want to try this again?
Is she already there? She is already there. So, now that she's already there, we should be able to jump right into the blue shift. Okay, so we're in the blue shift. We just run through this. Now here's where things get confusing. Once you're in the blue shift, this is where people get lost. I'm going to show you what to be looking for.
Perhaps I should give you another psychological search.
Once you're in the blue shift, if you come into this room and you start coming down this hall, it starts spooping out, and you'll see all of these people moving. Now you'll notice this door is open, and it closes, but you can't get there in time. Don't attempt to do this over and over again. You won't get it. That's not how it's made to work, and that's the tough part. I know a lot of people have noticed that that's what happens in that room. It's kind of hard to miss. There's not a lot of areas to explore. What you need to do in order to hit the green shift, you go to the Woodland Ridge. And this takes a second to figure out, but this is actually a time-gated thing. Make sure you're using your fast walk. People are calling it sprint. It's not a sprint pace. Zoom in on the butterfly. Waste no time. Run towards that door. I actually went the long way. I'm not sure if I'll hit it. And you want to get towards that door and start zooming in.
You think you can undo our past?
green shift. That's how you hit the green shift. You come through here, and you've made it to the green shift. This is the 4th ending out of 5. And what changes primarily here is in the office. Now, all the blue shift changes had to do with the woman in the apartment, which led you to the green shift. Now, the major changes end in here. The major changes being that there's now an email on this screen, and the very first recording that gets played out of here is different, and you can't just end it. You can stop the recording machine, but it doesn't stop playing the recording. So, these are a few of the things worth noting, but it's also, this is a major clue. These functions have very serious implications for the white shift. There's information like emails. I don't know if that one is essentially one. Assemblancelabs.com, I believe, is a website you can actually visit. You can email with a number of people in this game, and like AF14 at assemblancelabs.com will reply to you if you give it the right words within the email. It's an automatic response, but that's not the only email you can respond to. So, the other thing worth noting is looking for these Chrysalis Foundation pamphlets. You'll find them all over the place. You're going to find them in the office in the green phase, or green shift, and you'll also find them in the apartment during the blue shift. And no, I don't think they're in the full color regular gameplay, but they are in the blue and green shift. And you'll find it right over here. Just like that, folded up. Now if you go to the night phase, you'll see it open, and you'll see the back of it, which is an obituary that is Mad Lib style, fill in the blank. I'm not sure what the Chrysalis Foundation is yet, but it clearly has a major implication. Yes, there is a hat here. It is also in the office. I'm not sure. In fact, I'm almost certain there's no implications. In the night scenes, the butterfly goes away. We're not sure what that is. We discovered today that this book is from Season 3, Episode 70 of The Twilight Zone, titled To Serve Man, where aliens come and we think they're befriending us, but we learn later that they want to eat us. I think it's an Easter egg. I don't think it's anything, but you'll notice 2001: A Space Odyssey is on the shelf. That is obviously, you can make comparisons to the AI and HAL 9000. There's a number of homages to things, and I'm not sure what they mean entirely yet. There's all these pictures with like the boy and a man, and there's another one with a boy and 2 men. In the bedroom, it's the boy and 2 women. So we're having a really hard time discerning what these all mean. But this is the green shift. You've now seen the regular ending. I'm just going to go ahead and pause this because they're just going to talk my ear off. You've seen the regular ending. You've seen the truth ending. You've seen the blue shift. You've seen the green shift. Those are all the shifts. This is not an edited playthrough. I'm not going to edit anything out. You're going to be able to, you're going to have heard the frog in my throat, me scratching my eyes, like all that stuff that I might normally cut out of a YouTube video. I'm going to keep in here and just play this straight through so that you guys can see exactly how I did things. Go back, replay, things like that. There is other things that can happen. You can end up in the apartment and look back and be able to see the console, which is weird. I haven't even figured out how to do that myself yet, but keep digging. Keep digging. There are numbers in subreddits that we're finding that tie in with those the sine waves on the desk and things like that. There is a lot of things going on to hit the white shift, and the white shift, I believe, is a means to escape the machine. How it ends, I don't know. Will they explain the story in full? I don't know. They say there was an accident and basically say it was your fault, but that could be a misdirect from the AI. There are so many things going on in this game that I don't understand and nobody understands. So please, if you're into this game, keep digging. Post information here. We are in the Steam forums like crazy talking about this game right now. I believe there's a subreddit talking about it as well. There's multiple streamers. I know Lulu Soccer's working on it. Sergeant Snoogan's pulled up. I've been streaming it like crazy. There's a couple of other people that I've run into that are now working on it as well. A couple of people who just started streaming in order to try to figure this game out. It's really stirring up a lot of buzz, and that's probably why you're still here listening to me talk at the end of this video. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was interesting. I know it's not the general reaction style video that you get on YouTube from a lot of YouTubers. This was more of an informational piece, which isn't normally my style, but I'm really interested in helping people learn about this game, get better at this game, so we can work together to hit that white shift and figure out what this is all about. Because I haven't been this driven to figure out a game in years, and I'm really excited about it. I hope you are too. So thank you so much for checking out this video. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this game. Let me know if you figure anything out, if you find something, things of that nature. Get involved in the Steam chat. It's just on the Steam network in the community section. Go check that out. And guys, thank you so much for coming by, and I'll catch you next time. Hopefully, once we've figured out Asemblance. See ya!